All right, so here's the apocalyptic Daytona Dodge Charger. Now, before I get into this, I actually have a small review I want to do. Um, and that is, let's go ahead and get the Charger out of here, of Christine. This is the Greenlight 1/24th scale Christine. And look how shiny she is. She's very shiny. Um, I really like this diecast. I think it's pretty good. In places where I think it's lacking is definitely there's no engine nor hood or trunk detail. The wheels, I don't know, something looks off about them. Um, but for the price, this is a pretty nice Christine. She looks good. It's pretty cool. That rear bumper, I think, is a little bit too flat. I think it has a little bit of a curve to it. But it's not a bad Christine. It really isn't. You know, it could have been worse. Look at that front end. Oh my god, she is evil. You know what? No, Christine's not evil, okay? She only kills people that are trying to kill her, okay? You know, she might be a little bit more, manipulative and everything, but you know what? She's cool. I mean, I would totally be down with her influences or whatever. From what I've seen, it just makes it where you're obsessed with her. I mean, if I owned her, then I pretty much think I would be like that. So there wouldn't be much of a difference. And I think she makes you like a little bit more like antisocial, which I'm already like that. So that's fine. That's fine with me. I don't want to talk about that movie, Christine. I actually think it's pretty damn good. If there's one thing that's really lacking is gore. Like I was rewatching some of the scenes. I'm just like, show some gore. I want to see this like get all like bloody and everything, but it never happens. I will admit that Ash versus Evil Dead did an evil car way better than Christine. Yeah, definitely. But that came along much later. But Christine's still a great movie. I love the scene where she's chasing down the first bully. I can't remember his name, but like everything about that, like the music and everything, like when he first runs away from her, how you see like the headlights are like white orbs in the distance, then they suddenly get into frame and everything, and it's like, oh my god, everything about that scene is so good. Oh, I love how she's like screwing with him, like when they're going down that alley, that narrow alley, she's like scraping up against the wall and everything. I always pictured like if she was like a human, like essentially what she's doing is like dragging like a blade across the against a hard surface to make like a scraping sound to scare like your prey, basically. That's what I always imagined what she was doing there. I don't know if that's actually what's happening, but that's what it seemed like to me. And someone actually told me before she starts chasing him, and he's like, is that you in there? That the song she's playing is apparently making fun of him. I can't make out what the hell it is, and it's music that I never really cared for, so I don't know. I mean, someone said it on the internet, okay? It's gotta be true, right? Alright, let's get back to the Charger. Whew, I apparently had a lot to say about Christine. Uh, it might be a video for another day. But here it is. This is the Daytona Charger. This is a Dodge Charger that was on eBay. It was going to be completed, but for some reason, it's a Revell Pro Model Daytona Charger. Had a bunch of missing parts to it, and the person just like complete it or or just use it for parts, whatever the hell you want. And I got it. It's pretty cool. So what I did is I chopped off the front end and completely fabricated a front end. I took a lot of inspiration from the Wasteland Weekend Charger. The Dauntless Daytona, whatever the hell it is. That front grille, I think, is off of a 40s Ford. There is an actual 68 Charger grill in there. Got the mesh. It's like a flat fender Jeep now, essentially. Um, I used some Batmobile parts. That's the machine gun from that kit. Painted black. Mounted to the front fender. There was another piece here, but it kind of it kind of warped after I painted it. I think it was because the way I was letting it dry and everything, and it kind of bent in a weird way, and I couldn't really bend it back, and it just wound up snapping. So I just left it as is, with just the one there. I didn't go too heavy on the armor this time, and I say that this is quote unquote done, but it's not really. And the reason why is because I'm going to show it in a moment. Because there's like a really cool sketch that the people did from the Wasteland Weekend Charger that I really love the look of. I have these AMT motorcycles, and I was thinking, see if I can get one out of the package here. Just like, hang on, I'll try to do this. The way that they had it in the photo, or in the sketch, was like this mounted on the back. Which I would do, but I would want to have it where I build something out and it attaches to it, but I would want to put a little magnet so I could display it with the motorcycle and without. I need to find the type of magnets that Dr. Cranky uses in some of his models, because that would be really good, because I think they're pretty tiny, and I just want to have it where I can just detach the motorcycle and put it on there whenever I want to. Just so to give it a little bit more of a weirder thing to it, where you can display it with or without, and I think that would be kind of cool. Got the tires. I used a mix of Citadel paints and other things to weather it. It's got the rain marks down the side of the car, which are a pain in the ass to do. They're very weird with how they go on. They go on. It's not thick. I want to say heavy, because the paint is very light, or the wash is really light, but it's really heavy. It stains it very quickly. And I used mud and grass and a Citadel effect paint that has sand in the paint to give it more of a chunky look. So that's all over the tires. And on the fender there, you can kind of see it. And we have the front end. I don't know why it's not focusing. Hang on. Let's try to make the camera focus. Come on, baby. Skid plate. Does have a full exhaust even with tips. Did a whole black wash to the bottom of the car, make it look dirty. Mud and grass in the back of it, a little bit of rust. Shocks. Over and under kind of thing with the leaf springs. Those are actually the ones from the model kit. Yeah, I guess this thing is a four-wheel drive Charger. I wanted to make this one from my world with Ash and Kara. Maybe this could be Mel and Liana's Charger. I don't know. I feel like they drive something like this. Side of the car's got a dent with some rust dripping down from it. And I was writing Mel talking about this car, and she's like, if I'm reading, the information on this car correctly, the VIN numbers and everything, this is a green 68 318 Charger, which if you're looking at the car now, it is not. So it's a fake, but it's a damn good fake. So yeah, in the lore, this is not a real Daytona Charger. It's in fact a clone. Um, I talked about this on my Instagram story, and even if you're not a car guy, even if you're not a Mopar guy, I don't know why that would matter, but you gotta admit, those are the coolest looking taillights. They're so cool. They have like such an evil look to them. Oh, it's so cool. The interior, I could show that off. It's pretty much just box stock from how the person built it. They did a really good job detailing. I threw a rifle in there. It's detailed fairly well. Just try to show that. They did a lot of bare metal foil on this car. Yeah, the inside's painted really well. I like it. I feel like they would keep it really clean on the inside. As opposed to their other truck, Urban Rage, which is more of like their, you know, combat vehicle. This is probably more for them just driving around. Urban Rage is used quite a lot, but it's only meant for very specific situations. This Charger would probably be better for them just driving around. And for the people that are wondering, like, oh, why wouldn't you armor up the windows? The main character who would be driving this, Mel, the freaking bounty hunter character, she is the most feared bounty hunter ever. You don't take shit from her. You touch this car, she's gonna beat the shit out of you, so... Or you're gonna be her target. There's a reason why people are afraid of her. She is terrifying. The moment someone, like a raider or a bandit or whatever, sees her driving around in this, they're just like, okay, I'm backing off. That's how powerful she is. She's that scary. That, you know, raider groups will be like, oh shit, okay, let's not mess with her. We don't want her on our ass. On the back here, I believe Oxide gave me that little container. That little keg or whatever it is. Spare tire. Little fabric thing here. Piece of wood. Axe. Jerry can. It's kind of funny that there's a jerry can on there. The cars in my story do not run on gas. The majority of them are just electric. This would be probably electric. It's not exactly electric, but the fuel is quote-unquote rechargeable. So it's weird. Cars do not run on stuff like that. Is the engine. You can kind of see it. It's just a stock 426 Hemi, but it's detailed really well. It's kind of funny because you can still upgrade the engines like a traditional engine. Like, I think this thing makes more power than how a normal stock Charger would. But I love the stance of it. It's not too high and everything. It's pretty cool. I really like it. It's got a much meaner look to it. Let's go ahead and bring the Superbird in. Got that right over here. And I've had people ask me before, like when I posted a picture of it on Instagram, someone DM'd me and said, alright, what do you prefer? Daytona or Superbird? I'm just like, dude, okay, you're asking me Daytona versus Superbird, okay? That's like asking me if I prefer socks on my left or right foot. Like, come on, man. Like, you really want me to pick? Like, I love them both, okay? They're both badasses for what they are. The Superbird is amazing in so many ways, and the Daytona Charger is just incredible, you know? I can't remember if it's the Daytona Charger or Superbird was the first to hit 200 miles an hour, something in NASCAR related. I don't freaking know. I'm too tired to remember. But now I have two wing cars, and I just noticed the Superbird's actually longer than the Daytona. I believe so. It's a lot boxier than the Daytona is. I do love me the Superbird though. Superbird's such a cool car. Love it. So cool. Oh, I didn't even say this, but the headrest actually fell off that, and it's on the passenger seat too. That's kind of like a little thing. When I was pulling the interior out of this thing, when I was ripping it apart, that broke off, and then when I glued it back in, I looked and I was like, "Oh shit, I forgot to put that back in." But you know what? I actually kept it because it gives it a little bit more of personality to it. Um, I don't know. I think it's pretty cool. I was gonna put the second mirror on the other side, but since the gun's there, it just didn't make that much sense to me. It's a lot shinier on camera for some reason. It really isn't. It's a very dull car in person, um, especially with all the rain marks and everything. I did do some rust on it. There are some rust here and there, like over here. You can see it on the chrome trim, on top of the fender there. It's kind of hard to see because there's such a glare. And on the trunk, by the back window. So there is rust on this car. This thing would be pretty damn old in that universe. Um, I like that in that world that the dragons are more civil than the humans are. They're much more. They're much sweeter. Like I was writing where I was just like, I wonder what would happen if my little circle guy met my character Ash, and I was just like, I forget like how sweet he is until I start like writing for him and everything. Like he's such a nice character. Um, Basically, the scene that I wrote was little dude winds up getting himself shot because he runs straight into Raider territory, running away from Ash because he's afraid of him, thinking that he wants to eat him. He doesn't, because Ash is a sweetheart. He never wants to hurt you. Um, and like Ash rescues him, brings him back to his place and everything, and starts taking care of him. And my character's just like, I can't pay you back for doing this. You know that, right? And he just like glares down at him and just goes, "Don't worry about something like that." He goes, "Now, are you hungry? Come on, you gotta be. You've been out for a little bit." That's the kind of person he is. He's that nice. Like, oh my god. That just shows how the dragons are in my story. They're so much more caring than the humans are. The humans are over there shooting at each other most of the time. I mean, granted the main bad guy is a dragon, but he's fucking crazy. He's out of his damn mind. He summons demons for God's sake. Or tries to. There's the more rust over there. I actually used I didn't use a black wash over this whole thing. I actually used, if you see like a lot of the gaps are done there with black, that I didn't wash the whole thing. What I did was I just used Tamiya panel gap filler. I used that here on the trunk, that little thing there, in here, and it worked out pretty well. Because again, I didn't want to do the same weathering technique that I've been using on everything. Like I've been doing the black wash weathering on. I mean, granted, I did it for the bottom of the car, but for the top, I wanted to do like just different washes and other effects, just to see how it would look. And I was happy with it. Once I started doing the rain marks and everything, I was just like, this looks good. So I'm pretty happy with it. Let me know what you guys think, and I will see you guys next time. Yeah, for all the people that are getting annoyed, because someone actually messaged me, I was going to end the video, actually. I guess I should talk about this. Someone said to me, like, come on, when's your next post-apocalyptic build? Like they're... Okay, I'm glad that you love my stuff, but I have a passion for dragons and everything and reading, and so when I posted like that book review, I know a lot of people loved that. I got like no comments from the people that normally watch me. No one gives a shit about my opinions about the books. But I'm just saying, like, if you don't see me post something like that, it's because, like, I have a lot different things going on, and I have a lot of passions for, you know, making characters and reading about other characters more than just building. And I really love building, and I'm getting back into it. This was a great way to get me back into the post-apocalyptic thing and everything. But yeah, I will see you guys next time. Let me know what you guys think, and yeah, have a good one.